Well, hello there, Mr. Navy, Mr. Goodbar, whatever the hell your name is. That was quite an interesting and provocative video you made there. Yeah, I am going to be reading for some of this because I'm a good student. I took notes. First of all, I'm not going to actually try to argue with you because, well, you're not really the kind of person I like to argue with. Here, let me... That's a little bit more comfortable there. I really don't like arguing with really religious people, mainly because, especially, not to stereotype here or anything, but especially born-again Christians have a tendency to not allow themselves to be proven wrong, and it's kind of hard to argue against blind faith. And by kind of hard, yeah, read fucking impossible. I mean, essentially, you even say in this video that no matter what anybody else says, you're never going to change your opinion, and consequently, though, you're never going to move forward in the world. I believe, at least, I think everybody has to have this ability to lose. They have to be able to admit that they're wrong and change their beliefs, or the world will never change. I mean, people once thought the world was flat, right? And I'm sure you've heard this one numerous times. But people once thought the world was flat. And now, granted, they fought, kicking and screaming, saying the world was fucking flat, but eventually, they changed. Now, on to more interesting parts of your videos. You mentioned a God-shaped void. And I don't mean any offense by this, but the God-shaped void is a trait of weak-minded people. People that are very individualistic, people that need somebody to control them, to tell them what to do, to tell them what's real, to tell them what isn't real. That void is not something that I personally have, though I'm sure you can find a way to tell me I do. I have beliefs. It'd be fucking retarded to say that I don't have beliefs. I mean, everybody believes in something. But I'm perfectly willing to admit that all of those beliefs have more than a chance of being wrong. In fact, they have more of a chance of being wrong than they do of being right. And if I run into anything at all that tells me my beliefs are wrong, then I change them. It's called changing with the times. Something you might want to try there. I don't put all of my faith into science. I don't put any of my faith into religion. Science doesn't ask for blind faith from me. Science is based on a very simple principle. And granted, this is a very simple principle that some people, some scientists need to remember. And that principle is nothing can be absolutely proven. Science is grounded in the fact that you cannot absolutely prove anything. You cannot disprove all the variables. And no matter how ridiculous a variable seems, it still has that slight chance of being true. Because if you don't allow for that, then science is wrong by nature. You know what I mean? For example, a point that I know had been around philosophers for a long time but was brought to the mainstream by the Matrix trilogy was the simple fact that this world may not be real. I mean, what tells you that this world is real? That you can touch it? You know, that you can see it, smell it, taste it. These are human things. These are governed by your mind, and your mind also has hallucinations, mirages, dreams. Those things are things that we say aren't real. How can you tell the difference? I mean, And science cannot prove that this world exists. Science can't prove anything. Just like how religion can't prove anything. Okay? I am perfectly aware of this fact. And if something comes up that says this world doesn't exist, I am perfectly willing to accept that. Given adequate evidence, I am perfectly willing to accept that. If I was given adequate evidence that everything in the Bible is true and that God existed, I'd be perfectly willing to accept that. But guess what? By nature, God himself has said that he can't really give us that evidence. And one of the main features of religion is faith, okay? And having evidence pretty much destroys faith. Because faith is believing in something without having the evidence of it. Oh, by the way, I know damn good and well what a born-again Christian is. Once again, I am going to generalize here. I'm not saying all born-again Christians are like this. I'm not even going to say you're like this because I don't know you. But I know that for the most part, born-again Christians, or a born-again Christian rather, is an overzealous Christian who is so excited about the light that they have just found that he or she tries to force his or her opinion on folks that don't want to have anything to fucking do with it. People who have been Christian for a while, they don't do this, normally. With the exception of certain television personalities. They don't do this because they know that trying to force your beliefs on somebody who doesn't agree is just going to produce an argument. Just as you, being obviously an intelligent person, know. You stated that you knew this was going to end in arguing, okay? So, in fact, I would not put you in the category with the ignorant sort of born-again Christians, and I know you know which ones I'm talking about. You know, the, what? Not everybody wants to be saved? Those ones. What else did you say? Oh, yeah, you can't prove science wrong. And nor can you prove evolution wrong, just like how science can't prove you wrong, okay? Science is based on logic. Religion is based on faith. You cannot combine the two. It just doesn't work that way, okay? It's like trying to get an apple to prove that an orange doesn't exist. You just can't do that. It just doesn't work that way, okay? It's like saying... It's like taking a piece of poetry and a piece of prose and saying that the prose is better poetry than the poetry is. You just can't compare them on that level. It doesn't work that way because they're based on different things, okay? Oh, and by the way, you are absolutely correct. I cannot prove you wrong. I don't wish to even try to prove you wrong because it's a completely fruitless effort. And it's not because you're stubborn, although that could be one word for it. But stubborn has this negative connotation to it that I don't wish to use right now. It's not that you're stubborn so much as you're faithful. And the faithful can't really be proven wrong unless they accept it for themselves. Oh, and by the way, born-again Christianity, it isn't like a prison gang. You can leave whenever the fuck you want. I don't know what the hell you meant by saying, well, something to the effect of once you're a born-again Christian, you can never be anything else. I'm not really quite sure what the fuck you meant by that, but you're wrong. You can be corrupted once you're a born-again Christian, okay? It's not like you're fucking untouchable, alright? Oh, and by the by, last thing here. You state at the end of your video that you could be wrong, but you won't believe otherwise until we can prove you wrong. Maybe I'm missing something, but wasn't one of the main, focuses, or foci, whatever the fuck the word is, of this video, the fact that you can't be proven wrong? I mean, don't you actually state that we cannot prove you wrong or change your ideals? So then, why tell us that we can prove you wrong then? I mean, it doesn't make any damn sense. You're contradicting yourself, okay? And I guess that's it. I hope I get a reply from you. Bye.